I'm not pleased with this. This is
with what?
This was
That's
obvious.
A gutsy little effort.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. They played a baseball game last night.
Well, and I'll just say this quickly because I know that you want some room to go off.
No.
You play your B+ game, because there were mistakes.
Oh,
but
God.
when you play that well, and Jordan Hicks bounced back, and you had a big fly from one of your youngsters, and you had a guy get picked off, and a couple of balls that should have been caught in the outfield. I get that. You played pretty well. And you still lost. That's the tough one for me.
And didn't you feel the whole time like you were going to also?
Not really.
When it's a close game, I'm like, I know.
When they took the lead late, I was thinking, okay, this is the one you steal, Giants. Let's go.
The Giants have to work so hard for a run, and then the Dodgers always just walk up and go, pow.
There's a run.
Tie game. You're just like, for crying out loud. But that's not it. Giants played a baseball game last night. Young guys made some mistakes. I think it's silly sometimes when we're like, oh, they're young. They make mistakes. Do you need to be 30 to know to not get picked off? You're a professional ball player. I don't want to hear that Tyler Fitzgerald is young. You don't my 10-year-old knows don't stray too far from the base in a tie game when you're on first base in the ninth inning. You don't need to have years of experience to do that better. So that was lame. Whatever. It happens. Dodgers win the baseball game. No surprise there. And no surprise with what I'm about to go off on either. But this almost feels like a multiple choice. And I want to know, and 888-957-9570. Let's do this right now. Steve Young's on in an hour, by the way. Okay? So we got a little time to do this. Right now, why has the ballpark turned? Why? For years, the Giants said, well, COVID. No, nobody's in the city anymore. Okay, fine. Make that option A. What's option B? The Giants stink? Is that your answer? What's option C? It costs too much? Or option D, all of the above? Go ahead and answer that. Why has the ballpark turned? Because I find it to be nothing short of sickening to hear what it sounds like when a ball goes over the center fielder's head in the 10th inning of a 4-4 game, and that center fielder is wearing a Giants jersey, and 2 runs are coming around, and at least half the ballpark is standing and clapping and screaming and yelling and high-fiving. Dodger-Giant games have always had a lot of fans for the other team. I understand that. Wait till you see what it looks like here in a couple of weeks when the Yankees come to town. Holy hell, not looking forward to that either. But what happened? I really want to explore what led to this, because I know, growing up as a sports fan, when I turn on the TV and I see, this can be any sport, I see a stadium that is either not filled or is filled with opposing fans, I think poorly of the fan base. That's where my brain goes. When the Rams always host all of the fans of the other team, my immediate brain goes to, well, get a bad fan base. I don't immediately think, well, the Rams are 6-9. So, understandable. I never go there. That's never where my mind goes. I go, bad fan base. So I am not here to fire on Giants fans who either A, don't have or don't want to use the resources to go to games in a high-priced era. Or if the pain of getting into the city on a Tuesday night is too tough, fine. Or if you just think the product bores you to hell, I understand all of it. I really do. But I'd love to, can we face this for a second?
Sure.
When I turn on the TV in another town and the fans from the other team are loaded up, that's where my brain goes. I'm like, wow, that fan base stinks.
Right. And that's where this fan base is, to be honest. And it's not just the Dodgers. It'll be, the Yankees. And when you have Philadelphia and the other big-time fan bases, when they come to town, that's kind of where we are. And I think that my answer to your earlier multiple choice would be D, all of the above, because fewer people do work in the city. And if you were working in the city and you wanted to go to a ball game, you would go last night. You might go tonight. It's what you would do. If you're in the city and you're working and you want to go catch baseball, you would do that. Is it too expensive? Absolutely. What isn't too expensive? And I'll borrow from our program director who sent out a tweet a couple days ago about getting a bag of tortilla chips. I believe they were Doritos, and it was like $7 or $6.50. And he said in his tweet, like, what are we doing? The madness has to stop at some point. Gas, milk, eggs, Giants baseball. Everything is way more expensive than it used to be 3 to 5 years ago. And the other piece of it is the lack of interest, I think, in this team. And maybe it's partly because, you don't have Snell and you don't have Soler and you don't have some of your regular guys who you're starting to get to know, and they're all out, and you've got the kids. And if you're a season ticket holder, you're looking at your package of 81 games and you're thinking, you know what? If I sell these Dodger tickets, I'm going to get double face. Yeah. I'm going to get double my face, and that's really going to help me down the road. I'll sell them. I'll sell 2 and go to 1.
It's funny. I'm not mad at any individual reason. I get it. But I am mad at the collective.
Right.
And part of that is the Giants themselves. No question. No question. But I also, there is at least a piece of me that goes, no matter how much you hate Farhan, no matter how mad you are that the farm system doesn't produce, you're legit with all of those opinions. But what do we call a fan that only shows up when the team's good? There's a name for that.
Fair weather, Mark.
It's a fair weather fan.
Yep.
And that makes him a bad fan. That's the definition I always went with.
Right. Well, maybe this fan base has always been fair weather, more so than you or other people want to admit to, because, 10, 12, and 14, it's easy to be a fan and go, and heck, I'll be fair with you. And I took my family. We went to all those playoff games, and my son Quest, who was 9 in 2010, Keon was 7, and they were all in.
Sweet spot.
Sweet spot.
Absolutely.
But they were in because it was the playoffs and it was a thing. And actually, Quest actually went last night, so I should reach out to him to see what he thought about the game.
Was he wearing blue?
No, but his friend was.
He brought a Dodger fan to the game?
He didn't bring anyone.
Or did
he
Dodger...
went with, I don't know who brought whom, but I know that I looked at his social media today, and his Instagram story, there was a picture of him deep down the left field line, and then his second picture was of, I assume, one of his friends in blue, and Quest's caption was, this game didn't end the way I'd hoped it would, end, and that's just the reality of where we are.
Yeah, yep. I'd never go to a game with a Dodger fan.
Yeah.
I would never do that. Well, but that's fine. That's your son did.
In different era.
But let me say it differently. I couldn't do that.
Right.
I couldn't do that.
And I don't think that my son is like, if you asked him all 40 guys on the 40 man, I don't think he'd go 40 for 40.
Could he get 3?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Especially having been there last night. And I wonder what 3 he would name. And that, I think, is a bigger issue on this team. Like, who would be the 3 that you would be able to name if you were a casual? And I'm not denigrating my son by calling him a casual fan. He's a casual fan.
You would say Logan Webb. You would say Camilo Doval. And
he never plays.
Well,
I mean,
but he's recognizable and he's good.
Maybe late night Lamont.
I feel like just from a name value standpoint and a time out there, like Yaz, even though he strikes out way too much, all of that stuff. But don't you feel like he's a little bit like from an offensive side, he's kind of still the logo? Which is just a brutal.
That's the problem.
A brutal reality.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to use my son as the example for what's wrong, but I do think that this discussion is exactly what's wrong with the team. Is a casual fan, when they look at, hey, Dodgers Giants Monday night, why would you want to go out there? Well, the Dodgers are really good. And, I mean, that as a casual fan, and it's hard for you to put yourself in that mind space.
It is.
Because you're thinking about it only through the Giants.
But I don't mind casual fans.
Right.
I don't mind casual fans.
But the casual fan right now has almost no reason to go out there. Is my point.
But the stadium can be filled with diehards and casuals. What I don't want is the stadium being filled with blue.
Right.
That's the difference. And you brought it up. You said maybe this fan base has always been that. I don't know to what level I agree with that. I'd have to think about that a little bit through the years. But for example, Golden State Warriors fan base, that's not a fair weather group.
Right.
This group, you know us. We have been loud and at the Coliseum for years. For years, that building was loud even when they stunk. So there does have to be, I don't care if it's only 5% of the conversation. But if you really think you're a Giants fan, can we take a moment to look at ourselves and what we've become? And you can blame all of it on the team in the front office if you want. It's beyond fair. But fair weather fandom? Gross. Gross. What happened to we're sticking it out so that when 2010 gets here, you cry? That's what happened to me. Years in that whipping wind in Candlestick. Years. Ooh, Rebe.
Nice.
What? He's hitting 210. And we're chanting his name for years. The wind biting through our chest. Hot dog wrappers in the eye. Watching these games. And you get to 2010 and you can cry because they did it. They finally got over the top. So if you don't sit through this now, which I wouldn't even argue, I mean, how much hair is really on the chest of a Giants fan now? We're only 9 years removed from a title.
Right.
But if you don't sit through this now, how much are you going to enjoy it when it goes the other way? That's not fandom. That's not fandom to just be like, I'm out. No. The Bears fans are excited they got Caleb Williams because they've been sitting here watching crap for a generation.
But they've never tasted it since 85. So if you are... Grandy's age, for example, 30 years old, and Lucas 30. You were not even close to being born when they won a title, so you have that hunger.
Yeah.
Giants fans, you don't have that hunger. If you're 25 and you remember, 14 years ago, you were 11 when they won the title, you have much more entitlement than you and I did when we were, younger and the Giants had never won anything ever. And when they won 103 in 93 when I was 25, and that wasn't even good enough for the playoffs. I remember that. These whippersnappers, that was 31 years ago.
Look,
neither Grandy nor Lucas nor most of you were even alive then.
It's pretty tough out there right now. I fully get it. Things, it feels like everything is expensive. Everything. Everything is freaking expensive. And going to a game, it has gotten to the point where it's out of control. And battling into the city is tough. And our city is a little bit different with now how it operates post-2020. And the Giants have failed to make their organization fill up with life. These things are all true. And if that means you want to stay home, you have no argument from me. But I am going to be here to say this stinks. It really does, what's happened to this ballpark. You never could have convinced me over the last 20 years that a ballpark would ever, at 3rd and King, would ever look like that. And that we would just kind of shrug and accept it.